Jaipur, Pink City, palaces, vibrant culture. Imagine you're there at a luxurious hotel. Everything is relaxed. You're on vacation.
Yeah.
But just a few doors down, a tragedy is unfolding. A romantic getaway turned crime scene.
Oh, wow.
A young woman, Riya Malhotra, found dead in her hotel room. Her boyfriend, Arjun Mehta, vanished, gone.
A story ripped from the headlines, right? But it just raises so many questions, like what went so wrong behind closed doors? I mean,
That's what we are going to explore today. Welcome to CrimePod Castle. Twisted Love Series. We're diving deep into the Jaipur Hotel Room Murder, the case that, well, it shocked the nation, really. Revealed that dark side of love,
obsession
control.
forces us to confront some uncomfortable truths about relationships and those warning signs, the ones we miss, and the consequences of all those unchecked emotions.
Yeah. So we've got Riya, a bright, ambitious marketing executive from Jaipur, and Arjun, successful businessman from Delhi. These seem like, I don't know, a power couple, right? But their relationship, it was far from perfect.
Yeah, right from the start, there were cracks. Reports suggest, well, their relationship was a whirlwind. Passionate highs and dramatic lows. Jealousy. Arguments. A constant push and pull. That was their love story.
And Riya had finally reached her breaking point. She wanted out, wanted to end the relationship, but Arjun, he wasn't ready to let go.
That's where the danger is. When one partner feels ownership, that inability to accept the other person's decision, things can spiral.
And so, Arjun convinces Riya to meet him one last time at this hotel in Jaipur. Promises to talk things through. To me, red flag. What about you?
Oh, absolutely. Classic manipulation. You create a false sense of hope, a chance for reconciliation.
Yeah.
But the real intention could be something much worse.
And the hotel staff, they saw the tension immediately from check-in. Riya was hesitant, almost like she knew, this wasn't going to end well.
Chilling, like she was walking into a trap and couldn't turn back.
And then, that night, guests in nearby rooms, they reported hearing raised voices, an argument, sounds of a struggle. It's chilling to think about.
Like a relationship imploding, the rage, the desperation behind those closed doors.
The next morning, housekeeping makes a horrifying discovery. Riya's body, lifeless. The scene is chaotic. Signs of a struggle. A shattered wine bottle. And Arjun, gone.
This scene, well, it speaks volumes, that bottle, Arjun's disappearance. This isn't an accident. It's something much worse.
The Jaipur police, they started an investigation immediately. They've got a crime scene, a missing suspect, and a story that's unraveling. Fast.
A trail of evidence points to premeditation, a crime of obsession, a desperate attempt to control. Back to CrimePod Castle. We left off, well, with that crime scene, right? Perplexing and tragic. But the investigation was just starting.
The police had a lot to do. A young woman, dead, boyfriend missing, and the motive. Somewhere the tangled emotions of this troubled relationship.
First step, find Arjun. Was he running because he felt guilty? Or something else?
The police launched a nationwide manhunt. They tracked his movements, credit card transactions, phone records, even CCTV footage.
It's amazing, isn't it? Technology's role in investigations these days, it's like a digital trail, leading them closer and closer to the truth.
And that trail led them to a farmhouse near Delhi. Arjun was hiding out. At a friend's place, they apprehended him, brought him back to Jaipur, and the interrogation, well, it began.
This is where it gets, well, interesting. Arjun doesn't deny he was at the hotel, doesn't deny the argument, but he insists that Riya's death, an accident, a crime of passion, he said, a moment of, blind rage during a fight.
Classic, right? Trying to shift the blame, saying he lost control, painting himself as a victim, not a killer.
But the prosecution, they weren't buying it. They started building a case for premeditation, piecing together all the evidence, like those threatening texts. Arjun sent them to Riya days before the meeting, full of possessiveness, threats even.
Those messages, they're scary. You get a glimpse into his mind. He couldn't let go. That desperation as Riya tried to leave.
And they brought up the wine bottle, too, arguing that it wasn't just there, it was brought there on purpose.
Yeah.
As a weapon.
Like a thriller unfolding in the courtroom. Two stories. One, a man driven by rage. The other, a calculated plan. Obsession. Revenge.
And the jury, they had to decide which story to believe. It's a huge responsibility, All that evidence, testimonies, the pleas, and in the end, they decide someone's fate.
The whole nation was gripped by this trial. The Jaipur Hotel Room Murder. Media sensation. Sparked conversations about toxic relationships, those red flags, and the law. how it deals with crimes of passion.
It's a reminder, behind closed doors, even with perfect lives, there can be dark secrets, dangerous emotions.
And as the trial went on, the prosecution, they presented well, a pretty damning piece of evidence. Security footage from the hotel shows Arjun leaving the room, 4 a.m., backpack. He looks agitated, hurried.
That footage, it changed everything, contradicted everything Arjun had said about staying with Riya after the fight. It looked like, well, running away, guilt, covering his tracks.
It's a crucial piece. Made the jury really question Arjun's defense. Was this a crime of passion? Just a bad decision in a moment? Or was it all planned? Done with, well, chilling precision. That footage, it really did make you question his story, didn't it? Hard to say it was just a moment of passion when you're, calmly leaving hours later.
It really did. Shifted everything. The prosecution, well, they used it well to dismantle his whole story.
And the jury agreed, huh? After all those deliberations, weighing the evidence and everything, they had a verdict.
Guilty. Arjun Mehta, first-degree murder, sentenced to life in prison, no parole.
Life. It's a heavy sentence. But the evidence, it was strong.
It was. The defense, they tried to show him as, overwhelmed by grief and all that. But the prosecution, they showed that it was possessiveness and that he just didn't care about Riya's life.
It's sad. It started with so much promise, A young woman, her life is over. And, well, his future's destroyed. All because of love gone wrong.
This case, it really, I don't know, it got to people, made them talk about toxic relationships, domestic violence, and those warning signs.
We just can't ignore those red flags. Not in our own relationships or our friends, the controlling behavior, jealousy. When they pull away from friends and family, those are bad signs.
Right. And we have to talk about it. If you see something, say something. Talk to them, your friend, family member. Encourage them to get help.
Just talking can make a difference. Sometimes. It can save a life even.
As we've been, talking about this case, it makes me think, what pushes someone to that point, to a crime of passion? It's easy to just say they're a monster, but we should try to understand why people do things, What's really going on?
Yeah, why do they cross that line? Is it all emotional? Or is there more? Mental health? Past trauma? Even just pressure from society?
All of those are part of it. Research shows it's not just one thing. It's a mix of things that lead to these crimes. It's not just the relationship. It's who they are, how they handle emotions, and even the world around them.
So complex. There's no easy answer, is there?
Nope. But the more we learn about why there's violence, the better we can, stop it. We need to have healthy relationships, teach people how to deal with conflict, make sure they can get help with their mental health.
This case. It's horrifying. But we learned a lot. It's a call to action, to be aware, to care, to do something. If you're in a bad relationship or someone who is, please get help. There are resources. There's hope. You can have a better future, a safe future.
That's a really important message. And remember, knowing is powerful. When we understand these things, we can make things better.
Thanks for being with us on this journey into the Jaipur Hotel Room Murder. We hope this deep dive made you think.
Keep exploring these topics. They're important.
And don't forget, follow and subscribe to CrimePod Castle. In our YouTube channel, we'll be back with more true crime stories. Until then, stay curious, stay safe, and always, always stay vigilant.